Hey, love, there is something on my heart I need to say, and I'm asking you to let me put the whole truth in front of you before you decide anything about us. I've rehearsed this 100 times. There isn't a gentle doorway into a hard truth. You deserve the whole of it, not a trimmed version that leaves the real damage off stage. I'll be plain first and careful after, and I won't leave anything important unsaid. I cheated on you. There is no way to dress those words in softer fabric. I will not call it a slip or a fall. It was a decision. I understood the line I was crossing and the promises I was breaking. I knew it would hurt you if it came to light, and I did it anyway. The pain you feel now is pain I put in your hands. I am responsible for the act and for the hiding that followed, the quiet days where I smiled while a secret widened the distance between us. What follows is context, not an excuse. If it reads like I am trying to make the wound look smaller, stop me in your head and know that is not my intent. The truth is that I have been carrying a story about myself for a long time. The story that I am not worthy of being loved as well as you love, that I am somehow the wrong kind of person for the kindness and steadiness you give so freely. When I felt the weight of that story, I got scared. Instead of speaking my fear out loud, I let it curdle into distance and then into harm. I told myself that if I proved I was as flawed as I feared, it would be easier for you to let go of me later. That is self-sabotage dressed up as protection. It is not noble. It is cowardly. It made my fear your burden. I am not proud of that. I am naming it because you deserve to hear the truth about the twisted logic I used to license a choice that hurt you. I also need to admit that I used the sentence, "You're too good for me," as a shield. In the moment, it sounded like humility, but it was avoidance. It put you on a pedestal and pretended that made my choices inevitable, when the truth is that nothing about your goodness forced my hand. I did not sabotage because you were good. I sabotaged because I chose not to do the work of telling the truth when it mattered. If I believed, even a little, that we were misaligned, the right path was a direct conversation, not a betrayal that would force a conversation you never asked for. Saying, "You're too good for me," now is just me confessing cowardice. I will not hide behind it again. You may want details, or you may not. You have a right to ask for a timeline, for who, for how, for when. You also have a right to say, "I don't want to carry those pictures in my head." If you want answers, I will give you exactly the information you ask for, no more and no less. If what you need is distance for a day, a week, or forever, I will honor that without argument and without trying to shepherd your feelings toward any outcome. You do not owe me a chance to explain my pain. You do not owe me closure. Whatever you are feeling, anger, disgust, shock, grief, numbness, all of it at once, none of it makes you too much. You are responding to a real harm. There are immediate, practical steps I am taking because consequences don't live only in our hearts. I will arrange to stay elsewhere for as long as you want space. I will return keys, schedule a time to collect my things that feel safe for you, and coordinate through a friend if that is easier. I will not contact the other person again. I have already written and sent a final message ending communication, and I have blocked their number and social accounts. I will get tested this week and share the results with you if you want to see them. If there are other boundaries that will help you feel safer about communication, about where and when I show up, about what I share, I will agree to them and keep them. If at any point you choose to explore repair, I understand that repair is not made of promises and flowers. It is made of time, consistency, and the boring work of new habits. For me, that means starting therapy immediately to untangle the pattern that turned insecurity into sabotage, to build the muscles of telling the truth when I am afraid, to learn how to sit in discomfort without making a mess for other people to clean up. It means being radically transparent if that is something you want, sharing calendars, locations, devices, money, without acting like transparency is a favor. It also means accepting that repair has a pace set by the person who was harmed, not the person who did the harm. If you never choose repair, those commitments still stand, because I need to become the kind of person who would not do this again to anyone. I want to name the person you are, because one of my regrets is how my choices treated your love as if it were inexhaustible and guaranteed. You are generous without performance. You notice what needs doing and do it. You check on people after the big day has passed, when the crowd has gone home and the silence is loud. You shoulder more than your share when someone else is tired. Being near you has made me better at being a person. And I am ashamed that I repaid that by making you carry a secret you did not create. You have always deserved care that met you in honesty. I did not give you that, and I am sorry. I also know that our lives together have a practical scaffolding, time, work, and money that deserves care even in the middle of heartbreak. It may feel strange to read this in the same letter, but I don't want my failure to knock the wind out of the momentum you have been building in your career and your finances. You have worked hard for the stability you're beginning to feel, and it is real. It does not depend on me. I have watched you set goals and follow through when the task was no longer exciting. I have watched you learn new skills and apply them with patience. Those habits are not glamorous, but they are powerful. They are the reason you are standing on firmer ground than a year ago. Here is what I will do so I don't get in the way of that. On shared bills and commitments, I will take responsibility for anything tied to me and make sure you are not left covering gaps I created. I will put agreements in writing, set up automatic transfers where needed, and pay any fees or penalties that arise from my choices. If we need to close or separate accounts, I will do the legwork and bring you clear paperwork so you only have to review and sign if you want to. I will not use money as leverage or as a way to keep contact you do not want. If I owe you anything, I will repay it in full without haggling or delay. If a fair transition requires me to cover certain shared costs for a period while we untangle our lives, I will do that. I also want to speak some grounded hope into your financial picture. I am not promising outcomes, and I do not pretend to know the future. But I can point to evidence you created, colleagues asking for your input, the quality of your recent work, skills you've built, and the quiet network you've grown. Those compounding pieces often open doors. If an offer, a raise, or a client arrives, it will be because you laid a runway. My belief in you is not a wish, it is a reading of your track record. Keep your focus, keep your boundaries, keep backing yourself. No matter where we land, some commitments are non negotiable for me from this point forward. I will tell the truth even when it makes me look bad. I will not minimize your pain to make myself more comfortable. I will not ask you to mother me through my remorse. I will not make my guilt the center of our conversations. If you need me to apologize to your family or a friend who vouched for me, I will do that without defensiveness. If you need a written timeline, I will prepare it. If you need me to stop contacting you entirely, I will comply and not treat your boundary as a negotiation. If you want to know what doing the work looks like for me immediately, here is my list for the next weeks. Therapy, weekly. With homework I actually do. A written personal inventory of the patterns that led here and the steps to interrupt them. No contact. Enforced with blocks and accountability from a friend who has the authority to call me out. Practical life changes that reduce temptation and increase honesty, and a willingness to be patient with the pace of your healing. Even when my anxious brain wants to rush toward relief from me, I will share progress if you ask and keep it to myself if that is easier for you. What do I want from you right now? I want the chance to speak with you in person and to answer your questions. I want the chance to try, but I know want is not the same as deserve. What I deserve is to sit with the discomfort I created and to accept your boundaries. If you tell me to be silent, I will be silent. If you tell me to wait, I will wait. If you tell me it is over, I will not argue with your decision or campaign to change your mind. You are the one who was harmed, and you get to decide what safety looks like. There is one more thing: gratitude. It feels strange to put that word here, but it belongs. I am grateful for how loving you has made me more attentive, gentler with strangers, more patient with myself. I am grateful for the mornings we made coffee and planned nothing. I am grateful for the ways you taught me that care is a daily practice, not a grand gesture. Those memories remain good, separate from the harm I caused, and I will keep them with respect, not as leverage. I am sorry for the betrayal, for the silence around it, for the way I let my fear become your burden. I know an apology is not a cure. It is a marker at the trailhead. If there is a path forward together, I will walk it at your pace and carry what is mine to carry. If there isn't, I will do what is necessary to make the unwinding of our life as clean and fair as possible. And then I will step away so you can heal without me in the doorway. Thank you for reading this to the end. Whatever you choose, I will align my actions with your choice. I hope your days ahead are guided by the same steady light you brought into mine. You deserve a love that meets you in honesty, a life that pays you back for your effort, and a future that feels spacious and safe. If I am allowed any part in that future, I will earn it. If I am not, I will honor it with honesty and with care that asks for nothing in return. Your name,